The 7 steps of the water cycle. Step 1. Evaporation. The water cycle starts with evaporation. This is a process where water on the surface of bodies of water turns into water vapors. Water absorbs heat energy from the sun and turns into vapors. Bodies of water like the oceans or even rivers are the main source of evaporation. Step 2. Condensation. As water vaporizes into water vapor, it rises up in the atmosphere. At high altitudes, the water vapors change into very tiny particles of ice or water droplets because the temperature at high altitudes is low. This process is called condensation. Step 3. Sublimation. Apart from evaporation, sublimation also contributes to water vapors in the air. Sublimation is a process where ice directly converts into water vapors without converting into liquid water. This phenomenon accelerates when the temperature is low or pressure is high. The main sources of water from sublimation are the ice sheets of the North and South Poles and the ice caps on the mountains. Step 4. Precipitation. The clouds, which are the condensed water vapors, then pour down as precipitation due to wind or temperature change. This occurs because the water droplets combine to make bigger droplets, as shown in the diagram. Also, when the air cannot hold any more water, it precipitates. These water droplets can fall down as rain, snow, or sleet, depending on the temperature in the air. Step 4. Transpiration. As water precipitates, some of it is absorbed by the soil. This water enters into the process of transpiration. This is a process similar to evaporation where liquid water is turned into water vapor by the plants. The roots of the plants absorb the water and push it towards leaves where it is used for photosynthesis. The extra water is moved out of leaves through tiny holes or openings as water vapor. Step 6. Runoff. As the water pours down in whatever form, or as snow melts, it leads to runoff. Runoff is the process where water runs over the surfaces of earth and displaces or moves soil and minerals. Runoff combines to form channels and then rivers and ends up into lakes, seas, and oceans. Step 7. Infiltration. Some of the water that precipitates does not run off into the rivers and is instead absorbed by the plants or gets evaporated. It moves deep into the soil. This is called infiltration. These are the 7 steps of the water cycle and the resources used to complete this presentation. This presentation also uses both words and pictures. Thus, it's focused on the auditory verbal channel and visual pictorial channel, as Goose states. The redundancy effect states that repeated material can have a negative effect and actually hinder rather than support learning, according to Greer. So therefore, I decided to limit the words on the page and instead verbally present information that supported the visuals, instead of verbally presenting information that restated what was visually already presented. This type of presenting aligns with the modality effect and reduces the cognitive load of knowledge construction, also as Greer states. I decided to select visuals that were basic so my viewers did not have to split their attention or divide their attention between 2 relevant forms of information, according to Greer. The water cycle is a process, therefore I chose to explain it using a flowchart to show the cause and effect relationship, as Mayer suggests. The only words visually presented in the presentation are the steps in the water cycle, and the pictures closely align with each step. This allows the viewer to pay attention to relevant words and pictures in the multimedia presentation in order to create a word base and an image base, according to Mayer. I also chose to take out some of the wording in the original water cycle steps. During the organizing selected words process, the learner builds connections among pieces of verbal knowledge, as Mayer states. Since learners do not have unlimited capacity to build all possible connections, according to Mayer, I wanted to focus on the key words and the most important information. My goal was for viewers to learn the 7 steps of the water cycle after viewing my presentation, and that is how I decided the key information that I wanted to present.